What's up, AtoZSports? It's the postgame show, Titans postgame live here on AtoZSports on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, reacting to the Titans' 6-point loss. Had some drama there towards the end. 30-24 is the final score. Austin Stanley and JT Runke here with you guys for this postgame show. The Titans lose. They're 1-10, 1-10 football team. But today felt different, right? I mean, for the most part, we'll discuss a lot of these things, a lot of these topics through all of our segments here in our Titan Game Day Live post-game show. Cam Ward, Xavier Restrepo, Jim DK, defense making a couple plays when you had to have it for the most part. But we're going to have a great post-game show here, as I feel like people are going to be a little bit lighter today on the show. Not as angry as most of these losing post-game shows have been. Before we officially get going here, JT, tell the fine folks what they got to do, and let's get this thing off and rolling.
Yeah, what's up, A to Z crew? Reacting to yet another Titans loss, but I do also agree with you. Steps in the right direction. Doesn't feel as draining as, I guess, we're not dreading it as possible here, but as someone puts it here in the chat, it's a quality loss, and I think that's what you're looking for this time of year.
Normally we hear quality loss this time of year talking about the college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, right.
With teams that have very few losses, not 10, right?
Yes. But excited to get into today's conversation. Good to see all of you guys in the chat. Need a couple things from you guys before we get started. First and foremost, if you are on YouTube, we need you to hit that like button, lock in, like the show as we break down everything that happened today in this Titans game. Make sure you are also subscribed to the AtoZSports YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our coverage coming to you every single day. If you're on Facebook, we appreciate you watching over there as well as on Twitch. But if you are on Facebook, make sure to hit that like button, like the page, and down at the bottom right there, share the show with a friend, a Titans fan who wants to talk about Xavier Restrepo, this Titans offense, Titans defense, everything in between. And with that, Austin, let's get it going.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome to AtoZSports. This is our Titan Game Day Live post-game show here after the Titans' 30-24 loss to the now 8-3 Seattle Seahawks. The Titans drop to 1-10 on the season. Do got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us this entire Titans season long. X Golf in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Hermitage, and Franklin. Home and indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. PlayXGolf.com there. BTA Sports. Use code ATOZSports. When you download BTA Sports app, you get a 14-day free trial before your 12-month subscription is $79. That's a great, great deal there. The link is in the description. More on them later on. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy a golf cart with 2 locations to serve you, Columbia and Gallatin. BoteroCarts.com. Lipscomb University Sports Analytics Program, turning your passion into a career. The Barrel Social Club, real poker, real players. The Barrel Social Club is Kentucky and Tennessee's poker destination. And T-Dots, Nobody Trashes Tennessee campaign. Be part of the solution to end littering at nobodytrashestennessee.com. And looks like the Lions on play number 1 of overtime beat the Giants. There you go. That just happened as well. So Jahmyr Gibbs just goes a long, long way, and the Lions win this game. Wait, no. Giants get the football, right?
Yes.
Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. I'm thinking old school rules. Anyway, the Titans
they do get one shot.
They get a
come
drive.
A long way. So
yeah, they do. So sorry about that. Almost Tennessee Titans running back Jahmyr Gibbs just busted that long run there too. Yeah. So okay.
I hate Rand Carthon. Yeah. Right. There you go. If you miss that so
inside joke that some people get. All right. The Titans lose 30-24. This game was 30-10, and the Titans fight back, claw back with 2 offensive touchdowns late in this game. Cam Ward runs for his first rushing touchdown of his career, then hits Chim DK for another touchdown with about 40-something seconds left. The onside kick does not go successful from Johnny Hecker. It was a good effort, but unfortunately it hit a Titans player before it went 10 yards, and the Titans didn't have a chance to tie or really to win the game at the end. But I mean, this game is strange, right? Xavier Restrepo, we will talk about all of this, but before we get to it, I don't want to do our one words yet, but I just want to ask you, JT, your initial reaction on this. I guess, why does this post-game show loss feels so like airy and light and like positive.
It's the most complete game the Titans have played, at least from an offensive perspective.
Yes.
And that's saying something when the offense, if I pull up the stats here, still could not run the ball to save their lives. It might be one of what is stacking a couple of terrible rushing performances this season. But from a offensive perspective, you look at what Cam Ward and this team did, and it's probably the most complete performance they've put out there. And so I think you look at that and you have to feel good about that, because there is, instead of feeling like you have to look between the lines to see how good Cam was in a game, you saw just outright today. Like, you saw Cam Ward be good in this game. And I think that's what makes people very happy to see. Just looking at his stat line here, you see a lot of good things from him in this game. 28 of 42 pass attempts today, which is kind of crazy. 256 yards, so he gets over that 200-yard there and threw a touchdown pass and also ran one in. So a complete game from him there. You also just see from the entire side, that entire side of the ball, it was Cam Ward's show. I mean, Cam Ward even led the team in rushing with 6 carries for 37 yards and 1 touchdown. So, like, you see the proof of concept there without having to read between the lines, and you feel really good about Cam Ward today, which is what you want to feel. That's the thing that you're kind of missing, right? In a lot of these losses, the Titans get whooped, and Cam has some good but also some bad moments. Today you lost, and for a lot of that game you were getting whooped, but Cam Ward looked good the entire way, and I think that's why you feel better about the loss than normal.
Yeah, I do agree. Cam Ward looked good the entire game. I don't think there was really any issues that I had with Cam Ward. I mean, off the top of my head, somebody said in the chat, let me go see if I can go find it. They ran the race school. We finally saw a QB sneak, and they converted. It didn't look good. It did not look good. Cam Ward might stink at quarterback sneaks, but he's 2 for 2 in converting it. So if he stinks at it and it still works, then that means you should continue to do it, because he's just going to continue to get better at this. And I think there's a lot of other things that come into this game as well. As you see all the touchdowns scored today, where, well, it was 3 touchdowns, 2 by Chim DK, 1 by Cam Ward. But you see, and I'll just kind of go through the other, I guess, box score stats here, and then we'll get the chat involved. But I think receivers, like, you see 6 catches from Gunnar Helm for 51 yards, 5 for Chim DK for 44 and a touchdown. James Prochet chipped in for 3 for 42. Chig had 3 for 40, and Xavier Restrepo had 2 for 26. I mean, he was on 6 targets, but I mean, hey, probably should have drawn the next pass interference on that one play, and that could have. Sure. We might touch on that here in a little bit, but I think it feels a lot better. I think I did see this comment that I wanted to get here. Ray School again said the Titans we expect the Titans to get dog walked this game, and said they played well offensively and ended up only losing by 6 to a clear playoff team, and they had opportunities to do more. Now, did the Seahawks take the foot off the gas?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I mean,
absolutely.
You can say they did, but did they?
Yes.
Why? Prove to me, JT. Yes. Prove
the entire fourth quarter was prevent defense zone, soft zone, like we've seen in every Titans loss.
I'm talking about the Seahawks offense, JT. Did the Seahawks offense take their foot off the gas?
I mean, you saw Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet get a lot more carries.
Did the Seahawks offense take their foot off the gas, or did the Titans defense get stops?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm not going to say
defense got stops.
I think the Titans defense. I think the Titans defense looked a lot better at the end of the game. Arden Key with a massive. I mean, they had me thinking. I mean, I texted you. Arden Key gets that sack on 4th and whatever for them to get the ball and turn it over on downs. And I text in our group chat, is this the 3%? So, like, I'm not here saying I'm trying to be doom and gloom on the Titans. Like, there was at least a thought in the back of my mind that said, is this the 3% where it happens? But I mean, yeah, just as easy, could they have come back out and JSN just did what JSN continued to do all game? I don't know.
But they did
think,
it. But JT, they went for it on fourth down when they could have just kicked a field goal, or it might have been a super long field goal. But the Titans defense got a sack on a fourth down. They should have gotten an interception from Darrell Baker on first down that drive. The Seahawks were not taking their foot off the gas. They were throwing the football, trying to convert, and the Titans defense got 2 stops.
Well, sure. If maybe I'm wrong. I'll go back to the advanced analytics and we'll look. It felt to me narratively that they put the ball more on the ground that second half. And you saw that work a lot of the time when they put the ball on the ground. Kenneth Walker started to have some of those big gains towards the end of the third quarter there and was gashing the Titans defense. But they did step up in the biggest moments, which is something they didn't do in the first half. If you want to give them that credit, absolutely. The Titans defense did step up in the second half. But I'm not going to say that the Seahawks were looking, or the fourth quarter. I'm not going to say the Seahawks totally turned into, totally couldn't get anything working, because I think they did switch up and start to move to a more ground and pound, run the ball type of offense in the second half.
But they also failed to convert first downs when they decided they ran the ball for first downs.
The offense looked a lot better, but
when they had to throw the football, they got stopped by the Titans defense. And so I do think the Titans defense made 2 stops in the fourth quarter to allow for something to happen. Now, all right, let's get to our one word, because we will continue to break down this entire game here in the post-game show. What is one word to describe this Titans loss to the Seahawks? What is one word to describe this Titans loss to the Seattle Seahawks? We'll get to all of your answers here. I will put this in the chat because I just copied it, so I'll do that here for you, JT, and I'll get you ready for the one words answers here. So what's one word to describe this Titans loss to the Seahawks, 30-24. We'll get to your comments here in a second, but first, nobodytrashes.Tennessee.com. That is the campaign that TDOT has going on. They are trying to keep our state beautiful. It is a gorgeous state. We have a lot of great hills and fun, pretty trees and wildlife, but constantly litter is just disrupting all of that beauty and all of the scenery that we have here. Over 88 million pieces of litter are on Tennessee's highways, and TDOT spending millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every year to help clean it up. And we all need to pitch in for this. If you have a son or daughter, need them to get some volunteer opportunities, nobodytrashes.Tennessee.com is a great place to start for some of that. It also makes your community better as well. Once again, nobodytrashes.Tennessee.com to help keep Tennessee beautiful and to help end the solution in littering across the state. Online, nobodytrashes.Tennessee.com. One words here in the chat on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. By the way, like the show, like the show, like buttons, hit the like buttons, like. All right, JT, what are you seeing from the audience here on the one word?
Yeah, I'm making a bunch of faces because there are some very interesting, and we're breaking out the thesauruses today. There's some words in here that I think we're getting a better crop of one words today than we normally do. Jack says the one word covered with a money bag there. So right. There you go.
3 in a row. 3 in a row.
Hope you guys took that BTA Sports. 85% chance, they said, to cover the spread of even 13.5, and it looked pretty good for most of that game, but it covers even better there. Guy Mann says his one word is hope. Auspicious is what's popular. His one word there. Earl says better. Matthew says promising. Gary says encouraging. Shane says potential. Eric says hopeful. Brad says blueprint. Ann says rehearsal. I'm interested what this one means. Rehearsal.
Ooh, Ann. Continue.
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah, expand on that one there. And Damian says development. Curtis says lovely, encouraging, unsurprised. Unsurprised. Interesting. Improvement. Sanguine says sanguine. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. Bustin' Diamond says there. Growth. Refreshing, bright, satisfied, refreshed. Daniel Caribbean here says Ward Lord, which is, I think, is an interesting play there. Competitive, elevating, drive, hopeful. David still being negative, losers. So still clearly upset that they lost today. Promising. Restrepo is the word of the game there. Hope, Restrepo, hope, growth, progression, excellent. There we go. Getting a little more creative, trying to build Xavier Restrepo into there. Battled, win, good, meh, improvement, promising progress. So a lot of progress and improvement is what we're getting here in the chat. And then here, and explains her one word. She says, this is all just rehearsal for next year. Never would normally go for that many fourth downs. It's just the rookies getting practice before their next season. Very good word. Okay, I'll take that.
And just made me reconsider my one word.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to go first?
Yes, you go first.
Okay.
Because no, I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
Proof.
Okay. I get where you're going immediately.
So I'm going to go back to Anne's comment here, explaining her rehearsal word. This is all just rehearsal for next year. Never would normally go for that many fourth downs. It's just the rookies getting practice before their next season. So, but proof of concept is my longer reason for proof. Because damn it, I've been calling for this for weeks now. This is exactly what an interim head coach team should look like. They should look like the 8-year-old with a video game controller. Screw the rules, screw the unwritten rules of what you're supposed to do or not do in fourth downs. Go for it. Now, I bitched and complained all halftime show about the 4th and 1 Julius Chestnut handoff because it should have been in Cam Ward's hands. And you saw what happened when the ball was in Cam Ward's hands the rest of the game, and things worked better. So, proof. This is proof that the Titans have something in Cam Ward if they let him be. Let him make plays. Let him grow. Give him these opportunities. At halftime, the title was the Titans coaches keep robbing Cam Ward. Well, they finally let him dictate things. And I like what I saw. I'm about to pull up the team stats. I've got the page here if I can find it quick enough overall. But the Titans on fourth down today went for it a lot. And they had overall, they had their most successful fourth down conversion rate of the entire season. They were under 40% on fourth down for the season going into today. They were 5 for 7. 5 for 7. And they should have been 6 for 7 if they didn't give the dang ball to Julius Chestnut on that one. So I think proof is my one word. I was going to use the word guts because that's what I saw from Cam Ward having guts, where he was running the football. He was playing free. He was using his legs to get out of the pocket to still throw. He looked like he was playing confident as well with those guts. But my official one word is proof.
Yeah, I'm going to expand on that maybe.
Okay.
I'm going to go maturation. I think we're seeing Cam Ward mature. I think a lot of my critiques of Cam Ward over the past couple of weeks has been, one, ball placement, which looked a lot better today, which is not one I'm going to talk about here specifically, but the inability to make decisions that have led to him taking sacks, to him taking negative plays, to him making maybe the decision he shouldn't have made, between that and also making his decision too early. My criticism of him has been that it feels like it's been a little bit behind. It's been a little late. He needs to take more of those opportunities to make plus plays by running the ball when the pocket does collapse like that. And what does he do today? First drive of the game. Like I said at the halftime show, I thought that was his most complete and best drive of his young career today, was that first drive, extending the drive against a Seattle team that kind of surprised them. You look, I know, I think Teron Davenport tweeted this out at the beginning of that game and said, it looks like the Seattle defense is kind of in a whirlwind right now because Cam Ward and the offense kind of dinked and dunked their way down the field, and it kind of made the Seattle defense a little antsy because they came out expecting to totally clobber this this Tennessee Titans team early on, and Cam Ward takes it to Seattle's defense and goes all the way down the field. Now, they didn't score on that drive, but it still was one of the most complete ones, and you saw that all day with Cam Ward. Taking what was given to him in a lot of those spots, making the necessary decision, not big game hunting, not looking for that big deep shot downfield that gets him in trouble and gets him sacked a lot more than he needs to, running the ball to escape the pocket and make those plus plays. There was a lot of really good things from Cam that we haven't seen him have so far this year. And so I do think it was mature. It was maturation on Cam Ward's part as a quarterback, as a field general, as a leader. I think those are all things I saw from Cam today that make me feel a lot better about this loss.
All right, so Lane is just going to be a troll here. He says Cam's best drive ends in a field goal. Yep, he's a franchise guy. You're missing the point, Lane. Like, come on. Like, let's put our minds on. Like, let's understand where this Titans team is and where we are within this season. They're 1-9 going into the game. This team sucks. They have so many injuries. They've got 3 practice squad type receivers that are active on game day. They've traded away all their best cornerbacks, and one of them's hurt. And they got nobody out there playing. Their offensive line is constantly a walking penalty. Cam Ward's best drive is an intellectual thought into what it takes to play the position, because he played the position like a pro on the opening drive. He made quick decisions. He got the ball out of his hands. He used his legs to avoid pressure and danger. He made plays with his legs and his arms, and he made smart decisions. So, Lane, if you want to keep being a troll, that's fine. Look, I've had my doubts all about Cam Ward. Oh, here comes Lane. He's great against shell defenses. Yay, that's great. Do you think the Seattle Seahawks are coming out to start the game in a shell defense? Because now you're contradicting yourself, Lane. So if you want to keep going back and forth and trying to pick and choose whatever you want to do here, that's fine. You can play that game, but you look silly because Cam Ward played, I think, his best overall well-rounded game today, and he didn't have Calvin Ridley. He didn't have Elikai Manor, who is his most polished rookie wide receiver. So I think there's a lot of solid things you can take from here. So my one word was proof of concept for Cam Ward to be a playmaker. And guess how many turnovers he had today? 0. It's great.
Yeah. And there were some that maybe on a different day when he hadn't had the ball, if he hadn't thrown the ball as well. I mean, that one to Gunnar Helm, which needed to be a missile to fit it into there late in the game, that could have been picked off by Devin Witherspoon if it wasn't thrown like that. Like, that is a ball that I'm pretty impressed by Cam Ward to fit it in there, to know that he's got the coverage coming down on Gunnar and still get it into him and not have it picked off. There, you haven't seen a lot of those plays where he's getting jumped on a lot of routes, and I think that's really good as well.
All right, so we will grade Cam Ward later in this post-game show. Let's go ahead and get to some of what happened in the game. So here we actually have a situation, JT, where we can discuss the biggest drive of the game that had the most impact.
Finally, wow.
I have one that I want us to really dive into here in a second. But first, if you could, JT, tell us all about our friends at Botero Carts.
Yeah, Botero Carts, life is short. You got to buy a golf cart. And when you do it with our friends at Botero Carts. And they make it so easy to buy your new golf cart. 0% financing for 36 months with carts starting at just $6,700. They are open 7 days a week, including today. So if you're feeling good about the Titans game, why don't you go buy your golf cart now? With a full service sale and rental dealership that is locally owned and operated with 2 locations in the Middle Tennessee area to serve you, one being in Gallatin and their newest location in Columbia. No dealer fee, no credit card fees. So no hidden fees when you buy your shiny new golf cart, and it is shiny and new because they're all stored indoors for your convenience and satisfaction. There's also a no credit needed option as well. Life is short, buy a golf cart, and when you decide to, you buy it with our friends at Botero Carts.
All right, so the drive that changed the game the most, that had the most impact in the final score. So, JT, do you have an answer for this? Because I definitely do.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I have one that, like, you know, changes the win percentage, or one that, you know, I guess you could maybe look at the one to take them, I guess, like, get from 10 to 17 there. The one that puts them back in within 13.
Yeah,
I think
in the third quarter.
The end of the third quarter. I'm still going with that first drive because it set a tempo and set a kind of idea for this team that they weren't going to just like get rolled over, and that the offense was going to look competent today. That is still mine. It doesn't impact the game as much, but it showed that this team was going to have a lot more fight than myself and a lot of people thought they might have had to begin the game.
Yeah, so James is your answer is the Cam rushing touchdown drive. So let's before you get, that's not my answer, which is good. So, I favored a comment that brings up another pivotal point here. So I'm glad we actually have, this is, man, Botero Carts, we've been doing alternative, what drove you craziest throughout the season. Like, this is what the segment was supposed to be. We get to break down like the different drive changing moments type of stuff. So, okay. So your drive and a couple other people, the 9-play, 73 yards, 5 minutes off the clock to get it to a 30-17 score. That was answering another. So that third quarter was pretty wild because the Seahawks came out 3 plays, touchdown, 3 plays, punt. Then the Titans get that punt return touchdown. Then they go back. Seahawks get 6 plays. I mean, there was 4 touchdowns in that third quarter alone, and the Seattle Seahawks only had a total of 12 offensive plays. Actually, the Titans did too. Just 24 snaps in that third quarter with 28 points. It was pretty crazy overall. Yes. But that was a big drive there where Cam Ward was able to overcome some penalties. They overcame some situations there, and I thought, Cam, that touchdown run was pretty gutsy overall. So I thought that was a big time drive.
Real quick, Austin, because I just saw this come across my screen. I know I said earlier at halftime that in football, in sports, bullying does work. I said that jokingly. It actually did, because Paul Kowarski just tweeted that in Mike McCoy's answer about going for it as much as he did, Mike McCoy says he thought of Paul in that moment. It works, people. It works for this football team.
The only reason why he also did not add, I thought of Paul and you, Austin, is because I don't go to press conferences anymore. Because I have been screaming at that for weeks, calling him Mike McCoward since his first time he punted in that Patriots game. The most cowardly punt decision in all of tracking cowardly punt decisions in the NFL. So, look, I'm glad because Mike McCoy is paying attention to stuff, which is another problem. But, in this case, it worked. He went for a quarterback sneak. He went for it on 4th down. He did the things that we've been yelling at him to do for weeks. Finally, it worked. And guess what? You gave your quarterback a chance to make plays, which gave your team a better chance to try to win the game or keep it competitive. So, all right. So your answer was the touchdown drive at the end of the third quarter to make it 30-17. Yeah. Okay, somebody else brought up before we get to mine. Let's see. This was Pastor Raymond said the failed 4th down with Chestnut. I thought that was a good answer to the question because what would have it been? Because right now it was 13-3. It was just after the 2-minute warning in the first half. 13-3. The Titans have the ball on the Seattle 40 with a 4th and 1. Probably out. I mean, no, that's Joey Sly range. That's a 57, 58-yard field goal. That's Joey Sly range, right? But you think you got?
I mean, you gotta have the win. That's one where.
No, when Mike McCoy, he's all about the win, right?
He is. He's all about where he is on the field.
In game situations and flow, and it was the correct decision to go for it. It was the wrong play call to give it to Chestnut.
Absolutely.
Because what would have happened because the Titans fail on the 4th down and then Seattle goes down and gets a field goal, and that's where the 13-point differential comes into play. What happens if they convert that 4th down and then they just get a Joey Sly field goal and it's 13-6? And now you're playing with a different dynamic the rest of the way. Or, hey, maybe the Titans continue that drive and put a touchdown on the board before half, and now it's 13-10 at half. So I think that's a very good answer there from Pastor Raymond. But it's not my answer. My answer to the question of what moment changed the game the most, I think the game was effectively over when the referees missed the call on what should have been a pass interference on Xavier Restrepo on the 3rd and 21 pass attempt there right before the 4th and 1. Or 4th and 21 pass attempt. So it was 3rd and 21 at the 35-yard line. Xavier Restrepo clearly was interfered with by Witherspoon and no call. And that, on a 4th and 21, I mean, if you're going to go for it, I think you have to at least throw the ball down the field to try to draw pass interference at the very least. Gunnar Helm did his best to try to get 15 yards to see what he can get out of that, but that's not going to happen. Xavier Restrepo was interfered with. That should have been a 1st and 10 at the 30 or 28-yard line. and the Titans get a fresh set of downs. And the clock at that point, there was still just over 6 minutes left. Now that's enough time for that drive to finish in a touchdown, getting a stop, and then you get the ball again with a chance to go win the game. But that missed call, and again, I don't like blaming the refs. And I think
how
overall,
about that though? How about a breath of fresh air to finally be back into the territory where talking about refs can factor in to a Titans win or loss? That is something that we have not seen in so long.
I think, they didn't have a big issue with the refs at all. I thought Skronsky had a raw job on the whole in the first half, but that's no big deal. I think, but the pass interference is a huge thing. Like, we know that, guys. Like, everybody knows pass interference is a game-altering call that needs to be correct. And that changes a lot of that dynamic of the game. It does. And I think you have to be able to admit that. I just think if you're looking at what altered the final score the most, that no call that was clearly a pass interference on Seattle, I think carried a lot of weight because of the clock and the score.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's also one because like you are inferring there, and like I said earlier in the show, it did feel like there is that some sense when I said there's a 3% chance that this could come back. I did feel like I did feel like, hey, there could be a chance here. And so one of the big things that definitely did convey and lead to the Titans still just missing just an opportunity or two too many to get back into the game.
For sure. All right, let's talk more about Cam Ward. Let's grade Cam Ward's performance here on the show. Grading Cam Ward and how he played. I'll go through his box score overall. He was 28 of 42 passing for 256 yards in the air, 1 touchdown pass, sacked 4 times for 24 yards lost.
What's that completion percentage I'm trying to do math off the top of my head.
I can't.
Does it not say?
No, not where I'm looking at, but it's like, hold on, give me a second.
Okay.
30, 70, 68.
Okay. Close enough.
Check me.
Okay, I will.
Check me. Check me on that, because I that's my guess. 68%.
60, 67. 66 repeating, so like right around there.
Oh, so close.
You're
That's
close.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. All right,
a lot better.
Yeah, and I did not want to say 6-7. You know that. So Cam Ward ran the ball 6 times for 37 yards and his first rushing touchdown of his career. Grading Cam Ward, there's a lot of comments that are flying in the chat already. Does Jack have our
Jack says he's
Cam
ready.
Ward
So I don't know if it's in here, but Jack says he's ready.
All right, there we go. But shout out to BTA Sports, who for the 3rd game in the row predicts the Titans to cover the spread correctly. It was Chargers. It was plus 9.5 versus the Chargers, plus 5.5 against the Texans, and plus 13.5. They loved the Titans plus 13.5 all week long at BTA Sports. You can download BTA Sports. Use the link in our description on YouTube or the Facebook title for a weekly subscription. You get a 14-day free trial regardless if you sign up with AtoZSports. Only with us, though. It's a lot shorter without us, so you need us for this. So 14-day free trial, code ATOZSports, 12-month subscription for $79, incredible value. Or ATOZ14, weekly subscription after the 14-day free trial of $9.99. Easy. You're going to make your money back with BTA Sports. Make yourself a better sports better. All right, grading Cam Ward. I went through his stats. Overall, Cam had 2 total touchdowns today, about 290 yards of total offense with his rushing and passing yards combined. What are you seeing from his grades in the chat?
Yeah, let's start off here with Anthony, who says B+, B+, B+. Jake says B++, B+. Daniel gives him an A-, A-, C, solid B, A, solid. I don't know what that is after that, what that letter is or whatever's on the screen right there, but A, solid something.
Does that say OBJ?
It does say OBJ. I'm not sure what that means, though. Eric says B, Lane C+, a little harsher there. A-, A-, B+, B-, B-, A, Solid A is more than fair. B plus, that's normal. A plus, A minus. Michael giving him a C. B plus, B plus. Steven with the lowest one by far says he gets a D. A plus. Ray Skull with an A. Scotty says that's an A, boss. Ann with an A. Adam, I think B. Maybe this is supposed to be a B plus or a B minus. I'm trying to see which is closer to the keyboard there. I believe that's a B plus. A plus, A, B plus. So I think we're sitting right around the B plus area right now in the chat.
Okay.
So last week, the last game, I guess Jack says that you guys gave him a C minus and a C. So
yeah, this one's definitely in the B range for me. Jack, I don't think I've had a B grade for Cam Ward yet. Now, again, I have not called a Titans post-game show after a win since November 3rd of 2024 when they beat the Patriots in overtime at Nissan Stadium. So it's been a long time for me. Jack confirms I have not given him a B area grade. So I don't think this is the B plus. I think this is a flat B. This is definitely the best game he's played front to back. I want to see more of this. I want to see more efficiency next time, right? And I also do think that it's tough with the weapons that he's had. And we'll show the graphic from our pregame conversation is this was who he had out there. Not a lot of experience. And I thought, honestly, we'll talk about Xavier Restrepo here in a little bit more. I thought overall this group did a really good job because we asked in the pregame show who's going to step up most for Cam Ward today.
DK and Chig and
Chig.
That's what happened.
Gunner.
Yeah.
James Prochet
somehow.
And then
I played James Prochet in a dynasty league where I'm trying to tank, and he ruined it because I thought he was going to get no targets, and he ends up with 3 targets for 20 yards. I'm like, that's the opposite of what I needed.
Wow.
So
I mean, the only guy and Van Jefferson caught one pass, but it was on a 4th and 5, and he got 11 on it. So that's a big one, right? And so I think the only guy who didn't do anything on offense of that group was Mason Kinsey, which I called. What did I say?
You did.
Nailed it.
I'll be interested to see the snap count because I don't think Kinsey ran a route. Regardless of where it was in the
he had a couple out there early. It was in the middle part of the game. So for me, it's a flat B. I think Cam Ward, best game by far. I don't think it's a B plus. I would have liked to see just quicker, more explosive, their drives, JT. See if I can find the play-by-play again, just to get through. The amount of yards, the amount of snaps that they had on all these drives. They went 11 plays to cover 34 yards in 7 minute.
Yes.
That's crazy. And they turn it over on downs, right? 15 plays, 62 yards for a touchdown drive over 4 minutes. 9 plays, 73 yards. That was the most efficient drive of their game. Just whenever they did sustain drives, they were not exactly having explosive plays. So 15 plays, 63 yards for a field goal in the opening drive. So I just want to see more explosive ability. Junior says, Austin, does your grade include coaching? This is strictly Cam Ward. And I thought he played very well. I thought he showed a lot of guts. I think if I've never been out on Cam Ward. I've questioned Cam Ward. I've been questioning Cam Ward, but he answered some of those questions today, and that's very positive.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually going to be slightly more positive than you, which people crazy, insane. I'm being positive. What? That can't happen. I'm giving him a B plus. You look at his complete. So we gave him, it's around 66, 67% completion percentage, which based on his games would be his 3rd highest completion percentage, but it's also the most attempts he's had all season. His the two better that he had was in the Las Vegas game where he was 26 of 38 for a 68% completion percentage. And then in the New England game where he had a 73% completion percentage, he only threw the ball 34 times. So 68% completion percentage on his most attempts, I think, is super positive for him, and it's in the right direction, especially for a game where you got back into it at the end in the Vegas game and in the in the New England game. You really weren't in that game at all, really, from the middle half to the end. So I think that's a big part of why I'm giving him a B+. It's also just coming out of the gate looking strong as well. I thought there weren't really any balls that he threw anywhere in this game that had looked like previous weeks where it looked very maybe weak or way too fast. I think his footwork was a lot better in his game here today. And then also you saw just more of those plays on a game-to-game basis that if you get him going in the right direction with the rest of the pieces around him, you're going to reap so many more benefits and the rewards of those, like the one to Xavier Restrepo on that, I believe it was a 3rd and 7 or something like that, on the one where he's moving back. Xavier Restrepo is moving back towards the middle of the field, Cam Ward out to the sideline, and he somehow still gets the ball out of his hands before even going out of bounds there to complete that for, I believe it was Restrepo's first reception of the game.
You know what that reminded me of? Never mind. Keep going. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that, and also being able to run for me, it's so huge for him to start understanding his pocket presence a lot more. That's why he gets a little bit more of a nudge. I've been so critical on his pocket presence and not knowing when to duck out, when to take the easy throw, when to move around in the pocket and take the ball himself. Stop big game hunting. Those are all things that he did a lot better today, and that's why I am going to give him, I think, my best grade of the season so far, which is a B+. I think that's probably, I'd have to go back to the record book that Jack has, but I think it is the best grade I've given him, because once again, there weren't the big wow factor plays like you saw in the Cardinals game, in the last week's game on that one drive that put them within a score, that put them up or whatever. There weren't any of those.
I think he had some wild plays. I don't think he didn't have the crazy throw to Chig or the 20-yard run, so there's a couple, but he did. I mean, I think he had some.
Overall, it was a complete game, and that's a game that you'll take from your quarterback any day of the week if you have better parts around him.
Yeah. Do you remember what you gave him for the Cardinals game, the win?
I think I gave him a B or B-, because I think I did remember I gave him a B- because he was actively, in that first half. Like Cam Ward did nothing else in that game to help him, help his team succeed. He was actively hurting his team. I gave him a flat B. So this is, I think he didn't do anything in this game. Thank you, Jack. I gave him a flat B. So this is one where I think he just also elevated his offense in a way that I want him to do week in and week out, but still didn't cost his team anything. And I think that's what you want from your quarterback.
I two total touchdowns and 0 turnovers for Cam Ward today.
Great.
That a massive.
That'll play.
Yeah. We can work with that.
Yes.
Like, okay, let's build there. And I think that's the title of the show is Cam Ward's got guts. We knew that. We saw the proof of that. And the Titans have something to build on. Speaking of building upon something, what are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at Jack. He said, JT, you gave him a B because Easton was hardcore explaining his doctorate level grading scale, which, by the way, Easton did. I can't either. I did want to point that out, but Easton did say that he's not on the post-game show, but he knows he'd be giving Cam Ward his best grade of the year today, which I guess he would be calling him a tractor quarterback then, which I'm going to let him, whenever he's on the show, explain his grade. But I do want to hear Professor Easton give his explanation.
I'm going to tell Easton that he is no longer allowed to explain his quarterback grade. He has to create a graphic to explain it for him.
Yes.
So we can just throw it up there and we don't have to talk about it. People are going to read. What do you think? So, all right, let's talk about Xavier Restrepo. And we're going to do that here with our hot hand graphic, our hot hand segment, because Xavier Restrepo, there's a super chats for Xavier Restrepo. There's comments for Xavier Restrepo that I saved because I think this is worth it. I think Xavier Restrepo also proved something here. So we'll talk Xavier Restrepo. If you have your thoughts on Xavier Restrepo, bring it. And here we are, the Barrel Social Club. It is Kentucky and Tennessee's poker destination. Real poker, real players, the Barrel Social Club. Check out 45 minutes north of downtown Nashville, just 15 minutes south of Bowling Green. They have 12 poker tables that run tournaments and cash games 7 days a week. And No Limit Texas Hold'em and Pot Limit Omaha. There are 16 TVs across the whole place, so you can see all those games that you want to watch here in Franklin, Kentucky. I have an idea because bowl season is quickly approaching. That'd be a great time to just go up there, play poker, and watch college football bowl games that start at like 11 a.m. on a Tuesday or something. I don't know. And you're off for like holiday break or whatever it looks like. They're open until 4 a.m. So you can watch those Pac-12 after darks, RIP, as well. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just learning the game, there's a seat for you at the Barrel Social Club. Is where to go. Tennessee and Kentucky's poker destination, thebarrelsocial.com is where to check them out. Okay, Xavier Restrepo talk. I'm going to get to the super chats. Amnesia.
Okay.
Restrepo on the field gave Cam a confidence boost. I mean, I don't think Cam's needing a confidence boost, but Restrepo on the field did something. Now, here's another one. DJ Silent says, X gave Ward comfort in someone he could trust. I don't know about like the comfort of the confidence thing, but someone he could trust, yeah. And I think the second catch that was nearly a Xavier Restrepo touchdown was the exact, actually both of them, to be honest. Both Xavier Restrepo catches were all caps chemistry.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you the first one for sure. The second one
too. It was perfect timing. It was like we've done this so many times.
Yeah, I think it's what you want from your slot receiver in that spot on that design play. It was a good outing for him. It was nice to see him get some of that run late in the game. I just wonder if this is if that is what people say, that they believe that it gave Cam confidence. It believe they gave Cam calmness. Why didn't it happen earlier in the game? Because in the first half he played less than 5 snaps.
I think you're letting him work into it, right? Like it's, Xavier Restrepo, and this is just me discussing this in a general way, that most guys that have been waiting for their opportunity and been grinding and working through practice, and they get called up for the game, they're going to be kind of jacked up and amped. Like, let them get their feet wet, right? Feel it a little bit. And then before you don't just like throw a fade ball to him. His first target was like a highly
Which was one that I thought he could have come down with.
Yeah, he almost did. It was a great effort. Like he almost made a hell of a play on that one.
Yes.
He could have. He was really close to a couple touchdowns, believe it or not. So, like, I think Xavier Restrepo played really well, and I want to get to this.
The one thing I will say is, like, I'm with everybody in the chat. I am with everybody all around Nashville saying, I'm gonna do the Colin Cowherd. Mason Kinsey, we're all good. Xavier Restrepo's here. You can go. Xavier Restrepo is here. Like, no, Mason Kinsey should not be on the team anymore, because Xavier Restrepo does what Mason Kinsey now does, like, more in one game than like, get him out.
They don't do the same things. Mason Kinsey, you still need Mason Kinsey on like special teams.
I mean, Xavier Restrepo played special teams today.
Yeah, but Mason Kinsey's a better special teams player than Xavier Restrepo.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is, like, Xavier Restrepo should now be, as I've said, the in the ascension line of Xavier Restrepo on how he gets to the next level. It was Lockett leaving. He's now up. It's the injuries. Now he's up. Now, just based on both the special teams play and Mason Kinsey, like he should be ahead of Mason Kinsey every single day for a call up, I think. Like if
Mason
Manor
Kinsey's
back
on the roster. It's
fair
always
enough.
remember that. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean, Manor comes back. You can always just cut him and he'll be back.
Maybe is it the hamstring? Like, I don't know if Manor's coming back.
I mean,
we don't know if he's coming back next week.
Sure.
Who knows?
But I think in my belief of how this hierarchy is in the Titans wide receiver room right now, he is now above Mason Kinsey.
All right. So, Gonzo says if Prochet, Kinsey, and Restrepo are all equal, Restrepo should be on the field first. I disagree. Prochet should be on the field. Then Restrepo, then Kinsey, which is what I said in the pregame show. That would come true. If I was going through like the snaps of Titans active receivers, Chim and Van and Prochet are your three guys. You're going to get the most snaps. Then it's Restrepo, then it's Kinsey. And it probably will play out like that.
And here's what I want to say, though, real quick. Like, once again, we are also talking about 2 receptions for 26 yards.
On 6 targets. I get it.
Against shell coverage
and
at the end of the game. And
Ryan brought that up and said, you guys are acting like he's all pro. No, we're not. Because there's also a couple moments. He had another catch that got called off because of a hold on J.C. Latham, I think it was. That would have set up a 3rd and 1. Instead, it was now that started the whole 3rd and 21 situation there. Then he had the play that one of the 6 targets that was not a completion should have been a defensive pass interference. So there's a couple things there. You know, he was a part of a throwaway once from Cam, which is a whatever. So, you know, it should have been 3 for 6 or 2 on 5, and he drew a penalty. Like the one, jump ball in the end zone is a toss up, obviously. I thought Xavier Restrepo did a good job. And I don't want to spoil too much, but I think we will probably, I'm sure, guarantee we're going to have a conversation this upcoming week with a short week because Thanksgiving's on Thursday about what needs to happen moving forward because it was his first game. Both of these grabs came in big moments. They were chemistry plays. When I cut you off earlier and then I wanted to let you keep going, I wanted to bring up that the first catch, the throwback, reminded me of that stadium practice, JT, when Cam rolled to his left and then hit Ridley on the opposite side. Xavier Restrepo knows how Cam likes his scramble drills. It
was very impressive for him to move back into the middle of the field there on that scramble drill. I think he sees the field very, very, very well in those moments. We'll see going forward. It was a good step in the right direction. Yeah, if Alec Manor comes back, I think it's a win. I think that's something that we'll see him back.
Yeah,
You still have, I think, Van Jefferson, DK, Manor, and Prochet above him, but I think he's worked his way up to the wide receiver 5 on this team. I mean, I also don't want to talk about Xavier Restrepo's 2 for 26 and then leave out the actual stud wide receiver that made a lot of plays and is looking ever more promising every single week in Chimere Dike. Incredible play design by Bones Fossil, which, I mean, Bones Fossil is a better schemer on special teams than any other person on this entire staff, which once again, keep him on the team. And then also, like I said, there was opportunity for Chim Dike to be the guy today, and he was. He was one of Cam Ward's, finding him a lot today. And you look at his stat line here, 5 receptions on 7 targets for 44 yards and a touchdown with a long of 25. Average 8.5 yards per catch or reception there. He was able to really dice up this Seattle defense that ended up being pretty banged up, and they were able to really take advantage of that today. So props to Chimere Dike as well.
He's good, man.
It was. I mean, listen, if we can figure out why Tony Pollard has turned into Trent Richardson, maybe we can figure something out.
I think Tony Pollard is pressing.
Potentially.
Because this offensive line sucks at run blocking. They can't. Well, I don't want to take away topics from the next couple of days, but
yes,
defenses are threatening the Titans. Yeah, throw it. Because they're going to come. Yeah,
Sure.
they're loading the box. They're coming downhill, and they'll say, we'll stop the run and go through that to the quarterback and say, screw it. And just saying, we're coming at you regardless. If you want to hand it off, we'll hit that in the way of the quarterback. And they're doing that. And the offensive line is not very good right now, and they're just getting flooded by bodies that they can't stop. It's not a good situation. So, I mean, this game alone, showing that the Titans have a passing game and have guys that can make some plays, maybe, I don't know, maybe it will start to back off some defenses so the run game has opportunity. And I disagree completely with this. Pollard has quit, and it shows. I don't think that at all. Not one bit. Quit? No. The guy runs hard.
Yes.
I just think he's running really hard and overthinking where he's running because he kind of has to. Because it's a ridiculous situation. Because if you look at it, Tyjae Spears didn't have much luck either. It's an overall offensive line run game issue.
I think that is true, and I also just I'm all two things can be true. Like the offensive line is not doing him any favors, and I do think that Tony Pollard is unfortunately out of juice. Because
I don't think so. I don't think he's out of juice. No. I don't think he's out of juice. I think he needs confidence that he's not going to get crushed when he touches the football.
I also think, as I mentioned in the halftime show, I'm interested to dive into this week, and maybe I'll lay up Easton for one. I'm interested to look at the numbers for Pollard before and after the switch from Bill Callahan to whoever's doing run scheme now as the run game coordinator.
The line. So Tony Pollard has juice. And even when he catches the football, a lot of times I think one problem that I have with Cam today was that when he did check the ball down, a lot of times it was too late, and whoever he checked the ball down to got creamed. And that was Tony Pollard most times. And Tony Pollard's just he's getting leveled anytime he touches the ball right as the ball gets to him. And so I think he's got a little bit of Ryan Tannehill PTSD going on right now. But I do think Pollard has ability still. We've seen him be explosive and fast and strong. He runs hard. So, all right.
Is there a comment you wanted to get to? I sidetracked us a little bit on that.
Oh, no, you're good. Okay. We can keep going on the
How about you want to look at some insights here? I've got one insight.
You got some insights? We'll do some insights here. Shout out to our friends at Lipscomb University Sports Analytic Program. If you want to turn your passion of sports into a career, Lipscomb University is the place to go. It's an online grad program, so you can take it wherever you're at your own time, around your own current schedule, whether you're looking to make a career pivot or maybe you are in undergrad, thinking about that grad school idea or what's after undergrad, or maybe you know somebody who's in undergrad that this would be perfect for. Check it out. It's a fairly new program. It's on the forefront across the country. Lipscomb University, based here in Nashville, but it's an online grad degree that you can get anywhere to learn how to work for sports media, or work for a sports data company, work for a team across any type of sports. Lipscomb is going to prepare you for that experience as well. Check them out online with Lipscomb University Sport Analytics Program right there. So, JT, you say you got some insights.
I do. Some very positive insights for Cam Ward, a first one ever this season, according to Next Gen Stats. Cam Ward, of course, completed 28 of 42 passes for 256 yards and a touchdown against the Seahawks, which generated a 4.4 plus EPA. It's his first positive EPA performance of the season. So how about that? On the day against a Seattle Seahawks defense, which teams have struggled against, he has his first positive EPA day of his young career with a plus 4.4 EPA. If you want to put a bow on just how positive in a direction Cam Ward looked today.
Speaking of bow, I agree with Jake. The play calling is still terrible. The second jet sweep on the first drive, I could see it coming from North Alabama. The 4 quick screens were being jumped before the ball made it to Cam's hands. It's terrible. Yes, all day long, Jake. All day long. Bo Hardigree, not good at calling plays.
Yeah, fair enough.
He was better today, but I don't know. I'm going to stop talking because I don't know. Because I feel like Cam made a lot of plays on his own, but there were some good play calls. That wasn't all bad. But it just seems like the bad ones are like obvious, like, okay, stop with the screens, guys. Like they're going, like there was almost a pick six, the one to Chig. It's like, do something different. It's not working.
Yeah, I also think that there could have been some other ones that would have been worse if not for Chimere Dike making something out of absolutely nothing on a few of those. I mean, we're going into the next couple of weeks with me being more out than I've ever been on Bo Hardigree as a play caller, and I've never been in. I've always been out.
Big says they were worse than her.
That's just not true.
No, not at all, man. Not at all. C-Rich and I usually are aligned, not this one. Like, Brian Callahan's play calls were better than Bo Hardigree's. Brian Callahan was having head coach mistakes and management mistakes early in the season that made him be forced to give up the play calling duties. But play calling has not been very good since Bo Hardigree took it over. So I will say this. Tyjae Spears never has a boring touch.
This is true.
Anytime he touches the ball, something wild is going to happen. Whether he just slips for a loss or does some crazy stuff and torpedoes himself down the field or reverses field, I don't know. Tyjae Spears is a maniac, and it's a edge of your seat situation every time the ball's in his hands.
That's fair. I do think like there is a way for Tyjae Spears to be more involved in this offense than not end of game garbage time, scramble drill, dump offs. Like there has to be another way for him to get more involved here than that.
I agree.
I refuse to believe that is the only way he can be involved.
Well, they tried to do that stupid jet sweep toss play. It was a pass and it lost 4 yards. Like, because he got crushed.
Yeah.
Like man, it's Tyjae had 4 catches for 21 yards today, same as Tony. They both had 4 catches for 21 yards, wildly enough. And then Tyjae just had 3 carries for 4 yards. Tony Pollard had 11 carries for 20. Chestnut had 2 for 3.
It's crazy.
All 3 running backs averaged less than 2 yards per carry today. It is broken. That's not like you're down by a lot. Like they ran the ball with enough volume to not be that putrid. Don't you think?
I'm at a loss for words on how to describe what's wrong with the Titans run game right now.
16 carries by the running backs, averaging like 1.5 yards per carry.
I'm at a loss for words because this isn't just a Texans defense is good thing now. This isn't just a, Seattle's front. Like maybe it is just that. Maybe the Titans offensive line is so weak and so just athletically not built enough to run the ball. But I don't believe that. I just don't, because we've seen it before. We've seen Tony Pollard have plus runs at the beginning of this season. We've seen them be able to pound the rock, especially early in the season against the Rams, against Denver, other defensive fronts that are just as stout as this one. I'm not quite sure. That's something I think we can learn, especially this week, about this team. What is going on with the run game?
This week, the running backs had 16 carries for 27 yards. Last week, it was 14 carries for 25 yards.
It's not great. Not great, Bob. It's not great.
No, it is not. Well, the Titans played better, still lost. So that's better. So we will have a shortened week. We have shows on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this week for Thanksgiving. So JT and I will see you guys throughout the week. Starting tomorrow morning. Buck Rising at the game at Nissan Stadium will be live for prime time later on tonight. So I want to give you guys a quick like the show. Thumbs up.
Yes,
thumbs up.
Lock in, like the show.
Please lock in, like the show on Facebook and on YouTube. And a shout out, as always, to our sponsors of Titan Game Day Live, Out the Door, X Golf in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Hermitage, and Franklin. BTA Sports, winners yet again, Titans plus 13.5. So download that app, use our code in the description there on YouTube to get that free trial and your subscription there. Botero Carts, Life is Short, buy a golf cart in Columbia at Gallatin. Lipscomb University Sports Analytics Program, the Barrel Social Club, Tennessee and Kentucky's poker destination, and T-Dot's Nobody Trashes Tennessee campaign. We will see you guys tomorrow Monday morning. Yeah, tomorrow morning.
Is Zach back?
No, he's not. So we will discuss that more tomorrow. Easton said that was Mike McCoy's most useful presser, so we'll see how that breaks down. And Curtis says, is Buck on that BS or is he chilling? I don't know. We'll find out. But he certainly does not sound like Kermit the Frog. So we will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Buck Live for Primetime